What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a big update when it comes to major third-party games and first-party titles for the Nintendo Switch 2. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start off with Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2. There's been a lot of discussion and arguments and talk back and forth on this game, and my one thing that I've always said with it, I'm not a big Elden Ring fan. I do have it on PlayStation 5. I tried it out, played it for like 20-30 hours. It's not my thing, but I get all of the hype behind it. I get why people love the game, and I get why it was a Game of the Year winner and did so well and reviewed really good and sold really good. And the fact that it was coming over to the Nintendo Switch 2 as such a highly decorated game was absolutely important. It's a big thing to be able to play that type of game anywhere that you want, even though it's a number of years old at this point and is probably going to be delayed to next year. But the last time that we heard about this game, there was a lot of issues that people were playing and it was all messed up and the frame rate was jacked up and it was having problems overall running at the events that it was at. But it does seem like there is a brand new updated build at PAX Australia, and Lance McDonald is reporting from there stating that they played 10 minutes of Elden Ring on Nintendo Switch 2 handheld mode, and it runs with the PS4 Pro style graphics. So none of the modern graph system you see on PC or PS5, but it's 30 frames per second straight up, rather than the PS4 Pro's uncapped frame rate. He says that there will be a video later showing off the game. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how it's working out here, but it does seem that the build has been updated from what people were playing before a couple of months ago, where it was essentially disaster and people reported that it was running like at 15 frames or 20 frames per second or whatever the case is. And I've always stated that until the game is out, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, they're still working on it, we gotta wait and see, but this is definitely promising if it ends up turning out. Now, once again, he's playing it at a show, it's handheld mode, it's not something to where you can gauge every single frame rate and if there's frame and pacing problems and all that, but it does seem like there's been a massive bump up from what we saw before. If you're saying, hey, look, it's just straight up 30 FPS without an uncapped frame rate, so maybe you can't feel those little bit spikes above or even spikes below, but this is something that's absolutely good. And this is something that people were saying it's a disaster, Switch 2's weak because of Elden Ring, and I was saying the whole time, well, let's wait till it comes out because it's not out yet. And also that's an optimization thing because Elden Ring has had issues on pretty much all the platforms that it's on overall, even on the PlayStation 5 where there are some frame rate issues, at least when I played it. I don't know about the updated builds of the game or the patched versions of the game after 2022, but I played it at launch and shortly after, and it definitely had some issues here and there. Actually, to get the best version of the game was that you needed to play the PS4 version on the PlayStation 5, and that got you a better frame rate and more stable than just playing the straight up PlayStation 5 version of the game. But if this is going to be running at 30 FPS locked, no issues there, I think that Bandai Namco did a good job of taking their time before they actually date this game. It does seem like it's probably going to slip. It was set for 2025, but it's probably going to slip to 2026. And just like Borderlands 4, which got delayed and needed more time, take the time to optimize the port. Don't just release it just because you want to rush the game out. If you have not taken the time to optimize it, make sure that you do that in order to get the maximum amount of people interested in the game when it launches. So I have no issues with them taking their time, updating the build, getting it into the hands of gamers, and showing people that the game is actually running better. So I'm hoping this actually holds up when the final release comes out. I'm hoping that this is accurate overall, but it seems like Lance is pretty confident in terms of what he's saying. The picture that he showed here was him editing his hands-on time, so definitely a positive thing to see, and shows that the Nintendo Switch 2 can actually punch above its weight when it comes to handling a game like Elden Ring anywhere that you want, portable, running at a stable frame rate. So definitely good. Add it hopefully to Star Wars Outlaws and Cyberpunk and some of the other big third-party games that have came out and surprised people on the platform. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to Elden Ring? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we get to the next topic, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this next thing here because we've got a big update on Pokemon Legends ZA. The sales and hype and anticipation is starting to ramp up for this game as the preload is live on the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop and Nintendo Switch 1, and guess what happened? It jumped right up to #1 on the Switch 2 eShop charts because this game is going to be big. This is one of the biggest gaps that we've ever gotten, if not the biggest gap for a mainline Pokemon game to be released on Nintendo hardware. It's been about 3 years. The last one was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet back in 2022. There was issues there overall, but those issues aren't going to be here with Pokemon Legends ZA, as the game has been running beautifully on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it's something that I think the Pokemon Company knew that they cannot have a back-to-back mess up when it comes to how the game runs on the premier hardware that it's on. Now, I do think that even on the Nintendo Switch 1, you're not going to get those same issues as the Legends games and the regular turn-based type of games. Even though they're both mainline, the Legends games are smaller in scope and size and features and things. Like the turn-based games have way more Pokemon. The turn-based games have a lot more stuff that's added into it when it comes to multiplayer and the support and everything. Whereas with the Legends games, it's not as much, especially with Pokemon Legends Arceus. But with Pokemon Legends ZA, they're adding in online, they're adding in some extra stuff and things that people actually wanted with Pokemon Legends Arceus, because some people were like, wait a minute, I beat the campaign, I play for 50, 60, 70 hours, and then there's nothing else to really do at all. There's no DLC. So this time they kind of came around and said, okay, there's going to be extra content for this game, and it's going to run at 60 frames per second and have good resolution if you have the Nintendo Switch 2. So that is exciting for someone like myself who was very disappointed when it comes to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet when that dropped in 2022. And yes, they did fix it with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the Nintendo Switch 2, but that was multiple years later. So I'm happy to get a launch of a Pokemon game and not have to deal with that when it comes to bad frame rate and resolution. We also have updates when it comes to Pokemon Legends ZA and how it's doing in Japan. This is going to be a massive system seller overall for the Nintendo Switch 2, and just a seller when it comes to the game on Switch 1 and on Switch 2. Famitsu is tracking Amazon reservations when it comes to the rankings overall, and all of the places are this when it comes to #1 through #4. You've got #4, Switch 2, Pokemon Legends ZA with bonus. #3, Pokemon Legends ZA with bonus on the Switch 1. #2, Pokemon Legends ZA on the Nintendo Switch 2. And #1, Pokemon Legends ZA on the Switch. So there's going to be a bunch of people buying the game on the Nintendo Switch 1 and on the Nintendo Switch 2. Also, if you look at it, the Pokemon Legends ZA bundle is also in the top 30, so people are going to be buying that bundle as well. So there is a lot to look forward to when it comes to this game, and I'm very interested in seeing the split between Switch 1 and Switch 2 in the Famitsu sales, and overall when it comes to what people are buying worldwide, because I think this is going to be one of the bigger system sellers. And I think if you combine that with Mario Kart World in addition to Donkey Kong Bonanza plus some of the other games that are coming out, I think that's going to be a huge holiday season for the Nintendo Switch 2 overall. In Japan specifically, I think Kirby Air Riders is going to do really, really well, whereas in the West, I think Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to do fantastic. So I do think that there's still a lot more to look forward to. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is going to do well worldwide, and the fact that it actually is going to be running good on Nintendo Switch 2 hardware compared to what we got at launch when it comes to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is definitely nice. So what do you guys think about the big update here when it comes to Pokemon Legends ZA and what they're doing? Let me know in the comment section below. But now we're going to move on to the next topic here, and that's Trails in the Sky First Chapter version 1.05 update. This is the one that we've been waiting for, not because it adds first-person mode, because it does add first-person mode. If you have the PlayStation 5 or PC, the update is available now. But for Nintendo Switch 2 owners, it adds a performance mode, something that people have been looking forward to, just because while the game runs at 60 frames per second, it targets that. There's some hiccups here and there when you're playing the game docked. Apparently it runs at 4K 60 docked, but there will be a performance mode adjustment setting to where it'll run like at 1080p and then lock it down at 60 FPS. So here are the patch notes. Overall, added an image quality / performance setting to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, added options to adjust text speed and auto text advanced speed, which I was wondering why they don't have that in the game. So it's very good that they added that in there. Added 1 key shortcuts for actions and normally require 2 key presses on keyboard, added a first-person mode, added the option to hide in-game user interface. So definitely very good there, and they actually put out some different stuff showing off what you need to press in order to get that. Plus, they corrected various text errors and fixed other miscellaneous bugs. So I've been playing through this game pretty slowly. I know people that have already blazed through the game and beat it already, putting 70, 80, 90, even up to 100 hours. I have not been able to put that much time. I put about 20 hours into the game, but I did want to wait to see this update because they were emailing people saying, hey, look, we know that there's some issues. We're going to get an update out. So we don't have a release date for the Nintendo Switch 2 update just yet. It's already out on PlayStation 5, but the game obviously already ran really good on PS5. So I'm guessing that it's going to be probably this week or next week. Probably more of next week for the update. So we'll have to wait on that, but it is coming. And yes, the performance mode will be there, so you can get that better performance on the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the game, especially when it's docked with the performance settings. So what do you guys think about Trails in the Sky first chapter? I love the game. I think it's fantastic. It's a very fun game. If you're into Xenoblade or if you're into like Metaphor ReFantazio, it's kind of a mix between those two type of games. Action and turn-based RPG elements, positional battling to where you have to be on the side, behind people either way, certain types of bonuses that you can do. Overall, the magic system is very interesting as well. So yeah, I highly recommend the game. It reminds me of the old school RPGs with a bunch of modern twists onto them as well. So it's very good. So what do you guys think about Trails in the Sky first chapter and the update here? Let me know in the comment section below. But now we're gonna move on to the final topic here. Shout out to my man Stealth. He actually rounded up some numbers from Famitsu when it comes to the best-selling software and hardware for the month of September in Japan only, retail only as well. We're gonna go from the bottom to the top overall with the hardware. Nintendo Switch 1 still kicking, man. 82,000 units plus, almost 83,000 units overall. Hardware with the Nintendo Switch 2, number 1, and that sold 175,000 units plus with the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. Very good, and it's coming up here October, stockpiling for Pokemon Legends ZA, so I'm guessing those numbers are going to increase dramatically for the month of October. Now, when it comes to software, here's the top 5. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar with 33,000 plus units. Donkey Kong Bonanza in at number 4 on the Switch 2 with 41,377 units. Number 3, Everybody's Golf Hot Shots on the Switch 1 with 46,590 units. Number 2, Silent Hill F with 57,475 units on PlayStation 5. And number 1, still selling considerably the best, is Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch 2 at 145,397 units. And remember, guys, this is just physical retail sales, so that does not include all the bundles that are selling in Japan with that Mario Kart World digital code added in there. Mario Kart World is absolutely killing it overall, and what we got with the latest Circana sales as well was that the Mario Kart World bundle has sold around 80% when it comes to here in the US, so another nearly 2 million units on that. So definitely good overall. Mario Kart World with the bundles are going to do really well, and it pretty much follows the same playbook that we saw with the Nintendo Switch 1, where that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle was always one of the best sellers. It was pretty much the casual hit overall on the system, best selling title when it comes to Nintendo Switch 1, and it looks like the same thing is going to happen here with Mario Kart World. Although I'm very interested in seeing after Nintendo removes that bundle and kind of phases in the Pokemon Legends ZA bundle, how people actually purchase Mario Kart World after that. Are they really going to be buying the $80 Mario Kart World separately? That's going to be interesting to see, because in Japan, the game isn't quite that price. It's cheaper. They have a cheaper Nintendo Switch 2. They have a cheaper Mario Kart World. So I do think that even after the bundle is kind of removed, I think it's still going to do well there. Now, when it comes to other places, I'm not so sure because the prices are higher. So it's going to be interesting to see if Nintendo decides to lower the price on that, or if they do something else, or if they have sales and discounts on Mario Kart World a little bit more, saying, hey, if you sign up with this, or you can get some type of promotion when it comes to NSO and Mario Kart World together. So I'm looking to see if they do anything interesting with that after the bundle is kind of phased out. but I do think they're going to phase the bundle back in when it comes to the holidays, because that's what they did with the Nintendo Switch 1. They would phase out the bundle, and then the holidays would come around. Hey, look, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundles back with Switch 1. I think they're going to do the same thing with Mario Kart World, where they're like, okay, it's phased out. All right, here we go. It's back when it comes to next year, 2026, for the holidays. So we'll see about that as well. But what do you guys think about all the different topics here, all the different news? I thought it was interesting to go over. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.